afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Ham Radio Basics Live, Season 3, Episode 11, Ham Radio News and Updates 3/19/2025. Got a full house already. Andy's here, UTV and Ham. Cooley is here. Sorry about your weather there, UTV and Ham. Oh my gosh, probably getting snow, I guess. It's crazy, okay? Well, our weather is like last night, it dipped into the 40s. I wasn't expecting it, and, heat came on this morning. And, yeah, it's third world problems kind of a thing. So yeah, that's you just tell me about it. I hear you. I am so done with that kind of stuff. I'm so happy I moved down to Florida and I said goodbye to that. So anyway, the first thing I want to cover today is I did it when I first started the channel. I did a series of videos. Basically, I passed my ham radio exam. Now what? I did a 3-part course on that because I know I had a lot of people asking about that, and I wanted to talk about that for a minute here. And I'm going to put together a compilation video of some of these and edit them and put them together here. Part 1 was ARRL. Part 2 was ham radio clubs. Part 3 is resources. And I actually got that one part 3 on resources. I think I got 6,900 views. I think that's the most viewed video I've done, and with good reason. There's just so full of some great information, and I want to get this out there and get it out to the masses. So, because I get questions all the time. I've just got my license. What do I do? Kind of thing. And these videos were designed with that in mind. So I'm going to repackage them, get them back out there, so people can take a look at them and watch them, because their links in there are invaluable. Great information in there. With ARRL, I don't go to anything political as far as that, just, the resources that are available for us. Ham radio clubs, the benefits of ham radio clubs, and trying to find a good one. I know that could be an issue and a struggle. And then part 3, resources. Looking at like Gigaparts, DX Engineering, MTC Radio, all that kind of, all that, So this is a good resource here. Getting a blizzard in a couple of hours. Oh, Jeff, I am so sorry, my friend. Oh my gosh, that's just crazy. Okay, it's like getting to be the end of March right now. That kind of weather needs to go bye-bye. Because I know when I lived up in Ohio for 30 years, it's like you weren't really out of the woods totally until April, and even then, one time I remember in May we had snow flurries in May one time because it got so cold. It was crazy. It's 70 yesterday. Yeah, it's bipolar, Jeff. I know exactly what you're talking about. Exactly what you're talking about. I had that happen in Ohio to me. It'd be 70 one day, and then the next day, I'll never forget a day we had, in the same day, we had snow flurries, hail, and a tornado warning that same day. It was just, and a thunderstorm. It was just everything. You name it, it happened that day. Just absolutely crazy. But now, these resources right here, these are some great videos, and I'm going to repackage them and get them out there. And if you know anybody like that's a new ham, point them in this direction here, because I did spend some time putting these videos together, and I think it would really be worth your while, especially if you've just gotten your license and you're getting out there and getting started. These are some great videos for you. So please pass this kind of information on. I think it's great. I think they're fantastic videos. So had snow in June in the 80s. Yeah, it's just crazy. It's just absolute positive insanity. Well, we had snow earlier last month in Pensacola, up in that area. It was crazy. It doesn't get quite cold enough down here. That's the problem, and because you have to have that right mix of temperature and moisture to actually produce snow, and it doesn't get there, thank God, down here. Well, the other thing is, even up north, up in the Panhandle and stuff, everything's shut down. They have to wait for it to melt. It's not like up north where you have plows and salt trucks come out and stuff. There's none of that down here. So you're at their mercy for stuff like that. So okay, I'm going to do some news and updates. I went out this weekend and I spent quite a bit of time out there watching some YouTube videos, and there's some really good ones out there. I'm going to go over a few here from my Twitter account. So, and if you guys are new and you haven't followed me, I know you guys do, but if you haven't followed me on X, please do so. Yeah, I post quite a bit out there, and I get a lot of good comments out there. Mike went to the K&MRD, went to the Houston Ham Fest. You need to watch his video, see what he passed up on. He gave the guy an insane offer. The guy took the offer, and then Mike said, "No, I'm not going to get it." And then he had buyer's remorse after that. So especially when you're finding some of these one-offs or things that are really super hard to find, and you pass on it and you kick yourself later for it. Well, that's what he's basically doing in this video. Jason did a fantastic video. It's on a Tar Heel Little Pro HP best ham radio antenna for POTA. Okay, it's expensive. It's pricey. I think it's about $650. But boy, did he have some great results. And I highly encourage you to watch that video. Very easy setup with this too. He had like an Explorer backpack. It all fit in there. Very easy to put together. I think the legs actually had holes in them, so you can use anchors to anchor it down in the ground if you want to do something like that. It also has a mass control with it too, an electronic mass control, believe it or not, where you can end up adjusting your band. So definitely that's something to check out. Jason did a great job on that video. Very, very good. Came across this guy. I hadn't come across him before. Josh from Ham Shack TV, and he did a follow-up video, FCC deregulation, answering your questions and responding to comments. He had put out a video, apparently, with all this talk, all the deregulation trying to go on in Washington D.C. and saving taxpayers money. One of the big items for discussion was the FCC, and a lot of people are saying, "Oh no, they're going to deregulate ham radio and everything." But I think it's going to stay. They're not going to do anything, okay? Because I'll tell you what, and this is something that I talked about with my wife, and I think you guys would agree too here. Oh wow, yeah, that's crazy, UTV and ham, absolutely crazy. One of the things I think you guys that when after you pass your test and after you pass each test, there's a great sense of accomplishment, especially when you pass that extra exam. I know for me, it really, as I made the progression from tech to general to extra, it got harder. It didn't get easier, and I didn't have ham radio test prep. I had ham test online, I think, is what I used, and they rotated the question pool, which really made a big difference for me because I think I only missed 3 or 4 on the extra exam, which is really good. I was very impressed with that, and so you're not memorizing answers. You're understanding concepts and ideas and things here. And I think there's something to be said for going through this process. And I wholeheartedly agree. Just keep things the way they are. Don't deregulate them. Somebody said, "Oh, let's make it like GMRS and pay, $25-$30 and get your license." No. It'll be like CB radio. And, that's a 4-letter word, I think, for me. So no, it's a good video. He brings up a lot of good points on this, but the bottom line for me is no deregulation. Let's keep things the way they are. My gosh, I wish, and I told this to I told my drone friends when I'm on there. I said I wish the FAA would get like the FCC, because the FCC's really got its stuff together. I think in a large part with ham radio. I really think they do. Versus the FAA with drone pilots, not so much. Okay, so I'm kind of hoping that they'll do that they'll get their act together on that. But that's my whole 2 cents worth on deregulation there for ham radio. Steve did a great video here, TO, showing some great ham radio accessories like extended battery packs and more from Kevin. You need to watch this. Kevin is fantastic with some of the things that he made. So he made an extended battery pack for the FT3, FT3, and the FT5 Yaesu radios. He also built a charger for them as well. When I say built, he used a printer to do that. Also made a QRP battery, so to speak, and it powered like an IC705, and it was really small. And I was very impressed. He has some great accessories. definitely want to watch this video. It's very, very, very impressive. Chris, welcome. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, Jeff. We're fingers are crossed. We don't know what's going to go on. With that, last we know is if it sits idle for a year and nobody challenges anything or nobody proves anything about the data being passed to, uh, and that's the whole question: is data being passed from DJI drones? If nobody can rebuff that successfully, it automatically will become law. And the year after that, I guess there'll be a ban on drones from China. So who knows? I have no idea. Okay, UTV and Ham, have a great rest of your evening. Thanks for stopping by. Catch the rest of the show later because I got some good stuff here. So, but this video that Steve did on HT batteries and more, it was about, I'm going to say about that big, and it had a battery in there, and it powered the IC705 up to 10 watts. I was very impressed, very impressed. And Steve demonstrated. He pulled the battery out of the IC705. He did a real good video. Steve's very thorough, and he set that up, put that in there, and you got to see that work. And I was very impressed with how that did. Very, very, very impressed. He has one. Yeah, he does. Yeah, he does, Jeff. I'm impressed with Kevin. I'm going to be ordering some stuff come payday from him. I'm very impressed because having that extended battery, and everybody has said he's gotten none but great reviews on this. And kudos to him, being a one-man operation and everything, and being able to handle orders and everything. So, but no, Steve does a great job in his video. So definitely that's something that you want to check out there. Okay. And then this is a new ham that I've been following. He lives on the other side of Tampa, KR4BSJ. I think he bought some new equipment today, and I've been kind of following him along. He just passed and got his general, got his tech, and setting up antennas. He's a busy beaver. He's having a lot of fun, and if you get a chance to stop by, throw some encouragement his way. I'm sure he could use it. He's gotten a lot of sad hams to comment on his stuff, and our policy here on sad hams. Okay, goodbye. Don't let the door hit you on the way out, kind of thing. So, but no, he's doing great, and I'm really enjoying seeing that. Andy Holmes, he's looking for recommendations like a portable beam antenna for 10 and 11 meters. Something could be quickly assembled and disassembled, perhaps just two elements. So there's some food for thought right there. That's working in tune nicely. He's got his radio set up here. QRP Labs just released a firmware beta version adding SSB to their QMX and QMX Plus. Now the fun begins. So there's that right here. First 13 centimeter contact went well on the other side of the lake, about a mile away. So that's interesting. Okay. Wow, just ordered a 4-meter halo. Very much looking forward to giving this band a real good start later in the week. That's it. That's very interesting. I love this here. Okay, ham clock on 2 large screens in the radio room. Wow, that doesn't get any better than that. Okay, you have all the information that you want on both of them there, no matter where you're glancing in the room. I think that's great. You can't have too many ham clocks as far as I'm concerned. So this is a good one. Does anybody know what this is? Okay. How many transistor radios did I have when I was growing up as a kid? Wow. Okay. Ham radio is the original social media. Changed my mind. Yeah, exactly. I absolutely love ham radio prep. Everybody who passes an exam, they get them out there on social media, and it's absolutely fantastic. James and Jim and everybody else there, they just do a fantastic job. I can't say enough nice things about them. Very impressed, especially getting, there's something to be said for that. And I think a lot of people, like I said, when we were talking about deregulation, studying for even a technician exam, if you're not familiar with terminology and things like that, it's not easy. And you're understanding concepts and ideas and things that you may be foreign to you, especially if you're not technically minded. And these guys are putting in a lot of work, and a lot of effort, and kudos to them. And I really like James and the gang at Ham Radio Prep for, for reposting these things and getting them out there on social media so people can see things like that. I think that's absolutely fantastic. Okay. Opted to skip reinstalling the GP9 antenna post storm and went with a 2 meter, 6 meter Yagi instead. And there's some videos on that. So there's a new video from Mike. They did a firmware update on the VGC VRN76, and they kind of fixed the issue. The issue was out in the sun, you couldn't see it. The screen wasn't bright enough. Got that corrected, but there's some other things in there. So definitely want to watch that video. Mike, as always, does a fantastic job on that. Okay. Steve did a great review on a someone's Go box that they asked him to take a look at it and shared his thoughts on it. So he did that, and it's not his; it was someone else's. And he gets into some good things and makes some good points during that video. So you want to watch that, okay? Well, we all know what tomorrow is. Okay, tomorrow's Thursday. What is it? APRS Thursday. Okay, but don't ask Mike from K&MRD. All right. Max Bennett, I've been following him for a while. He used to be one of the he worked on Air Force One for several years, and he's a Cybertruck enthusiast. Also, oh, okay, Jeff, that's good. He's a Cybertruck enthusiast. He's going to be buying one in a few years here, he said. But he's also a ham radio, has ham radio as a hobby, and absolutely is a great guy. I've been following him for a couple of years right now. Has some great posts out there. You definitely want to check him out as far as that's concerned. This is real interesting from Jason. Jason got contacted by Temu. If you know them, they're an outfit over in China. They sell very inexpensive items on there, electronic items, clothing, toys, that kind of thing. And they told him to go out and select some ham radio items. So that's what he did. And he went through and he put them through the paces. Now, he explains in the video one of the things that he does with quite a few of these items is he puts them in his mystery boxes when he sells these mystery boxes. So, they get used, things like maybe connectors or, maybe some Anderson power pole connectors kind of a thing, or, coax connectors, things like that, not really expensive stuff, but things to talk about. And there's some other things there too. So you definitely want to go ahead and check that out here. And what are your thoughts? Deregulate ham radio. I have thoughts on both sides. What do you think? Yes or no? Show the poll, and let's take a look at that. Yeah, people are saying yes. I'm just not there. Not for me. Okay. An incredible supercell with a tornado warning. I don't know where this was, but that's just crazy. And here's someone, God bless him, putting together an antenna from scratch. And good luck and God bless on that. I mean, if I don't have a kit, it ain't going together. I'll tell you that right now. If it's not in a kit with instructions, not going to happen for me. Radio Oddity has a new receiver out. It's called the RF919 FM AM shortwave LW SSB VHF UHF Air CB and WB 5,000 milliamp rechargeable battery and 4 tuning options. So that's something, if you're interested, to go and check it out on Radio Oddity. They do have quite a few good items out there on their site. So and then Jason KE2BJW, he just passed his general yesterday. And every time I see these, I make sure to repost them and get them out there. Like I said, it's always a good thing to let people know that others have passed their exam and to wish them well on their way. Okay. Evidently, this year they've come up with a theme for ARRL Field Day. It's called Radio Connects. And that's going to be on, they don't have a date there yet. So I guess we'll find out the date shortly on that. So, okay. The QRP in any language here. So always very interesting to see that. Now, love this portable setup. You can see right there, yeah, it doesn't get any better than that as far as a portable setup is concerned. So Walt did a great video on a 14 to 15 megahertz vertical antenna. So if you definitely have some time, go ahead and check that out. Walt does a great job. And a lot of stuff he does homebrew on his own. God bless him. He's an engineer. He has those kind of skills. And he makes it look super easy and super simple. I wish I had the knack and the skill and the time to do a lot of things that he does. He does a great job. And that's something you want to check out. Now, this right here, this
is huge. Oh my God, it took a tree up.
This is in Mississippi.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
And it flipped because
oh
of the
my God. Oh my God.
That thing was absolutely massive. Okay. That was just that was beyond insanity as far as how big that was. I can't believe it. I absolutely cannot believe it. Okay. Michael did a CW POTA activation. Can Joe and I put a new park on there? I think Michael is new at CW, so you want to definitely go ahead and take a look and check that video out. As always, Michael does a great job on that. Still have not heard, and my ears to the ground as far as the Yaesu radio, the QRP radio, the FT1X. Nothing yet, and I'm really kind of mystified because I thought by now for sure I'd have heard something, and I think we'll hear something in April. I really do, unless they're saving it for Hamvention. I don't think so, because it debuted at the Tokyo Ham Fair last August when they first saw that. So we're kind of still waiting and getting, kind of waiting to hear things. I'm hopeful Jason can have I got all excited because Jason had John Kruk on. I'm like, oh, maybe he'll talk about it. No, he's talking about some of the other new Yaesus, and there's a lot of mobile radios that Yaesu have just come out with, which is great. But I want to find out some information about this because it's really kind of scarce. Other than what Yaesu had published initially at the Tokyo Ham Fair, that's it. We don't have much more information other than that. So we're kind of on hold as far as that's concerned. So as soon as I hear something, I'm gonna let you guys know. I'm just amazed that it's taken this long. I'm really kind of surprised because that was in August last year. Now I do know, and this is one of the things that I think, and I kind of carry this over from my drone channel, is they have to get FCC approval here in the United States, and I get that and I understand that and I know that process. And there's a database that we go and we look at for information on drones, and that's how we know drones are coming. We'll do a deep dive and do a search out there on the database. It's kind of the same thing with this, and I don't think a lot of people go out there and look on the ham radio side, because by the time you get that news, Yaesu or ICOM or Ken Wood is coming out and saying radio's coming out. So, and has published all that information. So, but if you're interested in that, if that's something that you're thinking about, put a deposit down, with DX Engineering or Gigaparts or HRO, and the nice thing about those deposits is you can always use it for something else. If you decide not to want to get that radio, use it for accessories. Lord knows you can always find something to buy with that. So, but yeah, that's the skinny on that. I've been really kind of, my ears been down to the ground for that. We're still well over a month away from Hamvention in Dayton, and as I said, we're not going this year. I am going. There's a drone meetup coming up at the 1st of April down in near Jupiter, Jensen Beach, Florida. So I'm really looking forward to that for the weekend. That's kind of some time, spend time with my drone peeps. We'll have a great time with that. A lot of fun down there. Looking forward to that. So if you guys want to if you guys do drones and you're interested in coming to something like that, let me know and I'll get you the information on that. It's April 4th, 5th, 6th, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Just looking forward to a great time. It's always a lot of fun. It's free. There's no charge. And literally probably over 200 prizes that they're giving away, including a brand new DJI drone, a real nice one. It's worth about $2,000. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Really looking forward to that. So that's all I got for today, guys. I want to thank you guys for stopping by today. Jeff, I know UTV and Ham had to go. Cooley was here. Andy was here. Thank you guys so much for stopping by. I really appreciate you guys taking time out of your day on Wednesdays to watch the show. And for all those who you guys watch on replay, make sure you hit that like button. Really appreciate that. Really makes a big difference for me. And let's just keep everything rolling here, guys. 7-3s, everybody. Have a great rest of your week.